The man who survived the Siberian wilderness. In 1978, a Russian geologist named Vasily Peskov was on an expedition deep in the Siberian wilderness when he stumbled upon something incredible, a hidden family that had lived in total isolation for 42 years. This is the story of Karp Lykov, a man who, along with his family, survived in the wild for decades, completely cut off from the modern world. Fleeing into the wilderness. Karp Lykov was a devout member of an old religious sect in Russia. In 1936, during the rise of communism and religious persecution, Soviet authorities began hunting down people like him. Fearing for their lives, Karp took his wife and 2 young children and fled into the Siberian taiga, one of the most remote and brutal landscapes on Earth. They settled in an area so deep in the forest that no one knew they were there. Survival in the harshest conditions. For decades, the Lykov family lived entirely off the land. They built a small wooden hut with their bare hands, surviving through brutal winters where temperatures dropped to -40°C -40°F. They had no contact with the outside world and relied on fishing in nearby rivers, hunting small animals, growing potatoes, rye, and other simple crops, using pine bark as a last resort when food was scarce. They even made their own clothing from hemp and woven tree fibers. Over the years, Karp's wife gave birth to 2 more children, a total of 4 children who had never seen another human being besides their family. The struggles and losses. Life in the wild was harsh. The family struggled with hunger and wild animals. In 1961, tragedy struck. A terrible winter storm destroyed their food supply, and Karp's wife died of starvation. The family was devastated but continued to survive. They had no modern tools, no metal, and no medicine. Yet, they adapted to their surroundings and continued to live deep in the Siberian wilderness. Discovered by geologists. In 1978, a group of Soviet geologists conducting aerial surveys spotted what looked like a small wooden hut in the middle of nowhere. Curious, they decided to investigate. When they arrived, they were shocked to find a malnourished, barefoot family who spoke in an old Russian dialect. The children had never seen modern objects, they had no idea what bread was or what glass looked like. At first, the Lykovs were terrified, thinking the strangers might harm them. But Karp slowly warmed up to the visitors. The geologists shared food, clothes, and tools with the family, trying to help them. A difficult decision. The geologists offered to bring the Lykovs back to civilization, but the family refused. "This is our home," Karp said. The younger children were curious about the outside world, but they were afraid of leaving the only life they had ever known. Sadly, within a few years of the discovery, 3 of the 4 children died, unable to adapt to the sudden change in their diet and lifestyles. The last survivor. Karp Lykov himself passed away in 1988, leaving behind only one survivor, his youngest daughter, Agafia Lykova. Agafia chose to continue living alone in the wilderness, where she still resides today. Despite offers to relocate her, she insists on staying in her remote cabin, surviving just as her family did for decades. A testament to human survival. The story of the Lykov family is one of the most remarkable survival stories in history. It proves that humans can adapt to even the harshest conditions with determination, resilience, and a deep connection to nature. The end. Thanks for watching. For more story, please subscribe our channel.